Welcome back, everyone, to the Horror Shed Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jared. Below, we have the one and only South Jersey Jason. How you doing today, sir?
Got my cup of coffee. I'm doing good.
Oh, me too, man. We need the caffeination.
Yeah, we're recording on an early, bleak Saturday morning. Is it raining down your way?
Not yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, it's come and gone. And now it's just like blah. But good thing is I'm hearing the birds, which means spring is around the corner.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So anything new on the horror front for you?
I watched Megan.
And what'd you think of Megan?
I'm at about 2 stars out of 5. I mean,
Yeah,
I like the acting, which really disappointed me because I really wanted to like it after you like the actors.
right.
But yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And from what I read, the unrated version like had 20 seconds extra
Yeah,
than theatrical.
that's what I watched was the unrated.
Yeah.
Like the whole crab walking, I think it would have been scarier if she came at him like the T-1000. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
fucking hardcore. I don't know, man. Is horror dead? Can we ask that question?
I think it is, but Blumhouse, I'm not sure if you saw the announcement, but they're making a Dead by Daylight movie.
Okay. I
I
mean,
think I think horror is stale right now. Um People like, I think Terrifier 2 made a big impact back in October when it came out.
yes.
But while I like the Terrifier franchises, I really like the character of Art the Clown. I'm not really into the gore porn. Like that's not my cup of tea. Like I'll watch it, but I want to. I mean, and Art is a new slasher. We have a new slasher. It's been very long since we've had a prom. Ghostface is a slasher, but it's a different person, so I don't consider him really a slasher per se. There, it's in the genre, but it's a different person all the time. Uh, I think it is stale. We just got reboots and remakes out the ass. Yeah, we're never going to have the 80s again, late 70s, early 80s of good horror movies because Hollywood doesn't have any originality. So I hope we're going to get I hope the next generation we're going to get a John Carpenter, a Wes Craven,
Uh,
because think about it. Once they're gone, they're gone. Like, will we ever have another Stephen King?
Probably not.
No.
But with like Megan was really soft. You could have made
Yeah.
this really freaking scary.
I think maybe they were testing the waters, and maybe if we get a sequel, because they did leave it open.
They did. But are we just testing the waters for everything we fucking put out now? I
Yeah.
mean, I just watched the Haunted Mansion trailer, and I know it's not a horror, it's a Disney movie, and it actually looks like I might watch it. But
Does it look like, is it goofy like the Eddie Murphy one, or does it look
no,
more
it
grounded?
feels more like Ghostbusters.
Okay. And who's in it? I know that it was released, but I haven't watched it.
Owen
Anyone notable?
Wilson's in it, Rosario Dawson's in it, and the little young man, he looks like he's gonna be funny. So
Okay. There's a I was gonna watch it last night. I asked out at like 8 o'clock last night because Irene and I popped in a movie on Netflix, but there's a new supernatural comedy movie on Netflix, and it has
David Harbour.
is it David Harbour?
Yeah, he's the ghost.
Oh, I didn't know that, but it was Jennifer Coolidge, and was it Michael B. Jordan?
No.
No, no. Oh no, who's the guy, the Falcon guy, right?
Yeah, Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie, yeah, yeah. So I'll probably pop. I wanted to pop it in, but it's like over 2 hours. I'm like, there was no way I can stay up. And this is like 8 o'clock. I fell asleep like 15 minutes into the movie we popped in, which it's like a comedy with like all the old SNL female actresses from like the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was funny to Amy Poehler, the Debbie Downer girl. I
Yeah.
forget. And a bunch of other ones, and it's in the vein of, I would say, like a Bridesmaids type comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, getting back to horror, Who?
Yeah, I'm having a rough time with it. I really am.
Yeah,
It's starting to bother me
yeah,
because I just know whatever I'm watching is going to be a piece of shit.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like, I want the jump scares back. Let's
yeah.
stop treating these people like fucking babies and bring
I
it
know.
back.
If you're gonna make a horror movie, don't make a PG-13.
Yeah, there's no point.
As soon as you see a PG-13 movie, a horror movie, you know it's gonna suck.
And they aim for the PG-13 as if I'm not taking my 10-year-old any fucking way, even if
Hmm.
it's rated R. I'm still taking them. The
Yeah,
parents are still going to take them. You don't need to worry about that shit. It's not
yeah,
the 80s or, it's not the Exorcist times where, yeah, every kid's in church every fucking Sunday. It's not that
right.
anymore. I will
Yeah.
gladly take my kid to an R-rated movie.
And kids are so desensitized,
Yeah.
you know. So speaking of just like other things, so when this comes out, the the most recent episode of The Last of Us will be coming out, but I watched from February 26th, I think it was, so last Sunday. And it was an episode really focused on Ellie and down the DL. If you hear any noise, it's Dexter in the closet. So it was basically a DLC comment or episode of content where Ellie and a friend of hers that was like in the Fedra Academy spent the night in a mall which has been cleared of like the whatever you want to call them, the walkers, zombies, infected. And I never played this DLC content, and so that's when you first got the glimpse that Ellie had feelings for women. And it was a really good episode, and it shows how Ellie got first bit.
Hmm.
So it was really good. Um, I'm sure you caught up. Did you watch The Mandalorian?
Yeah, I watched it when I came home.
What'd you think?
I was into it. It
I felt
was
like it was a filler episode.
all the first ones for Disney are
Yeah,
Andor, Obi-Wan, the first Mandalorian. They were all filler episodes.
yeah,
They wait till the middle to get good.
yeah. And I hope the pirate we were introduced to is not the big bad because he was kind of hokey.
Yeah.
He was like Pizza the Hut but vegetables.
It reminded me of a shitty Davy Jones from Pirates.
Yeah, yeah. But I love like Grogu when he's spinning around in the chair and then he uses his powers to get like the jelly beans.
Of course, she texted. She was watching. I was on the road. She started
Okay.
watching it. I wasn't gonna stop her and make her
Yeah, yeah,
wait. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
we're talking about the biggest Baby Yoda fan in the world,
yeah.
and she's like, "Oh my god, he spun the chair with the force." I'm like, "Oh my god, my god."
Yeah, but it was and then I shared on my page, HBO and Disney came to an agreement to have a crossover, and it's oh, he froze for a second. It was Pedro Pascal and the girl from The Last of Us riding a horse, and Pedro Pascal's holding Grogu.
I'm sure she'll see it.
uh, And then I saw yesterday that Cocaine Bear's coming out on DVD April 18th. So, and you know what? I know it's going to be dumb, but I'm going to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it too, just because Elizabeth Banks made it, and I
Yeah,
find her
but
fucking
here's
hilarious.
oh, were you a fan of her Charlie's Angels then?
I
She
don't know.
directed that reboot
Ah,
with
I never watched it.
yeah, Elizabeth Banks is funny. I loved her when I first discovered her. It was Scrubs,
Okay.
and she was great in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Yes, she was. That movie
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the only thing other horror related, I didn't watch the most recent episode of Wolfpack, which came out this past Thursday, but I guess I went to bed at like 8 o'clock last night. I woke up at 2 and I was kind of wide awake. So I started watching on Amazon Prime the documentary about the It miniseries.
Oh, I saw that on there.
Yeah, yeah. It's like 2 hours, so I'll probably finish it over the weekend. But speaking of documentaries, you rewatched Never Sleep Again.
I rewatched Never Sleep Again and
Hmm.
Camp Crystal Lake Memories.
And I know you love Never Sleep Again. What did you think of Camp Crystal Lake
It was
Memories?
good. I
Yeah,
mean, I wish they had a couple more actors, but I know a lot of people are hard to get a hold of. And
yeah.
but who they had on was cool. Um, I mean,
And plus, you had Corey Feldman as your guest host.
That was interesting. Listening to the narrate.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was a fun watch. I mean, I got through all 6 hours of it in like 2 days. So
nice. Yeah, yeah, something like that. You got to break it up, or you're just, I mean, you could if you start early in the morning, start
well,
watching it.
I'm stuck in a hotel room, and we were working 7 to 3 shifts, so I had like from like 3 to 10 to just kill. So I was just like, you know what, we're gonna put this on.
Yeah, cool. Um, my friend mentioned me in a comment there. I had to go back into it, but there is a PhD who's also an author and has a podcast. He's doing, I don't know if it's like a lecture, but it's called In the Mind of a Serial Killer.
Hmm.
And it's at the Keswick Theater, which is like an hour south of me. May 9th, which is a weekday, which sucks. That would be a Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. I might go. Tickets are only like $35. Be interesting. Irene's going to be in Tennessee, so I'll probably go solo.
Yeah, I saw
So,
that. Good for her flying out, driving out there and flying back.
well, you know what the weird thing was? The day she booked her flight to fly back to the Lehigh Valley Airport was the day that the Lehigh Valley Airport had a guy come in, and on his carry-on bag was explosives.
Huh.
Yeah, he says it was fireworks for because he was going to Orlando.
They
But
sell them down there.
right, and he like ran away. They caught
Ah,
they have him clear as day on security surveillance, but they he I don't buy his story.
no, me neither.
Yeah. And one last thing before we get on to today's topic, that trial is over, the Murdoch trial. That's story, like, what the hell was his motive for killing his family? Like,
I don't know.
so, and like, apparently, because of this case, two unsolved murders or something were reopened that he has ties to.
Wow.
But Irene says there's a pretty good documentary about him on Netflix. She watched it the other day.
All right, cool. I'll have
So
to check that
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Add that to the true crime segment.
There you go.
But today, what
Yeah.
else you got? You got anything else?
Just one thing
Go
popped in my
for it.
mind. We are currently setting a date to go to the Blairstown Diner. It'll be in April, end of April, and we're going to do our first movie filming location.
Yep.
So we're going to head out to the Blairstown Diner that Saturday in April, have some good breakfast there. We're going to talk to the owner and the manager of the diner, have a little, interview with them. And then from there, I'm going to take Jared to all the filming locations of the original Friday the 13th.
Very good.
Yeah. All right. So we are continuing our Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's play the trailer for the highest grossing nightmare before Freddy vs. Jason.
Do you know what terror is?
Hello.
Do you live here?
Nobody lives here.
Real terror. How long has it been since you've been on Elm Street? Welcome to a brand new nightmare. He is the first in fear.
Will you help me? God, someone help me, please!
Second to none.
Don't let them put you to sleep.
He has no mercy. And no equal.
Now no one sleeps.
Get ready. This August, your wildest dreams will come true.
How sweet, fresh meat.
A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. The Dream Master.
All right. A Nightmare on Elm Street for the Dream Master. 1988 American fantasy slasher film and the fourth installment of a Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. The movie was directed by Rennie Harlan. The Dream Etcher was released on August 19th, 1988 and grossed $49.4 million at the domestic box office on a budget of $6.5 million, which made it the highest grossing film in the franchise in the United States until the release of Freddy vs. Jason. It did receive mixed critic
Now,
reviews.
was Freddy commercial before or after this?
This was pretty much in between 3 and 4 is when he catapulted.
Okay.
So after 4 is when the 900 number started, the series started.
What was the 900 number?
Hey, you could talk to Freddy.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure it was like $4 a minute.
Your parents get that phone bill. Jared, what the fuck is this?
Luckily, I was a smart enough kid not to call that shit.
There you go.
But I remember seeing the commercials. They would always have the commercials on, and they had the Fat Boys video on the box with Freddy in it.
The box.
And then the Will Smith cover that they got into a lot of trouble over, but nothing really happened out of it.
Why? Because they sampled the instrumental?
Yeah.
Okay. That was did they ever make a video for that?
Yeah, there's a video for that.
Is there? Okay,
I don't think they have Freddy in it. I think it was
okay. Because I remember the Fat Boys video.
Oh yeah, that was
I
awesome.
never saw the Will Smith one.
Oh,
I mean,
we got a slasher rapping. He's got a whole verse in that.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Robert Englund. I love that, man.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I rented it. I was young. And I'm like, who is this bitch? This isn't Patricia Arquette.
Yeah, Patricia Arquette.
And at that time, I didn't understand recasting roles. So what did you think of Tuesday Night as Kristen?
She didn't have the chemistry with the cast.
Yeah,
it didn't work. What Rennie wanted, well, her and Rennie were seeing each other also, which led to some bullshit.
Okay.
But, I mean, I think she's a good singer. She actually has a song on the soundtrack.
You know what? And I would have to go back and listen to it because I never heard her sing. Like, I probably know the song. I just never put two and two together. Now, do you know why Patricia Arquette didn't come back?
Nobody knows.
Okay.
In here, it says it was that she wanted to do something else because she was becoming a star.
Mm-hmm.
Others have said money. Others have said that she just didn't want to do it. So there's no 100% on why.
Right. Okay. I wonder if it was like, well, you're killing my character off. I was the savior of part 3.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. I felt that there was no chemistry. Like, you can see it on screen.
Yeah.
I felt like her acting was kind of stale too.
Very stale. The beach scene was stale. Her seeing the little girl was stale. Her running into Joey and Kincaid after feeling Freddy again was stale.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't wow me in this.
Right. Yeah.
And this has one of the dumbest fucking scenes in a Nightmare film.
Which one?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
When we get to that death.
Okay.
All right. So, in 1988, a year after the events of the previous film from Weston Hills, Kristen, Kincaid, and Joey have been released from Weston Hills and are back to their lives as normal teenagers with their families. However, Kristen still believes Freddy will come back when she dreams that she is in Freddy's old boiler room. She then summons Joey and Kincaid into the dream. Pretty cool dream. She ends up in front of the house. Little girl's painting Freddy on the sidewalk. Rain comes, washes that away. She looks up. There's the house. She goes in, doesn't feel safe, and brings in Joey and Kincaid.
I don't remember. See, I haven't watched this one in a while, so I forget that she brought him in.
Yeah, she's like, "Hi guys."
I just remember the night after, because didn't she also brought in the dog too, Jason, right? Or
no, she didn't bring. Jason kind of just ended up there to wake Freddy up. She wasn't really pulled in. I think the dog followed Kincaid in.
Right, because remember, didn't Kincaid? I remember Kincaid mentioning he didn't get any sleep and he's mean when he doesn't get sleep or something like that.
Yeah. My dog's just mean as me when we don't go to sleep. Uh, Joey and Kincaid are upset that has reverted to her old ways back when they were in Weston Hills. To keep her calm, they take her to the boiler and show her that it's ice cold. Kristen had also summoned Kincaid's dog into the dream. So apparently she did bring the
Yeah,
dog, but that doesn't make
that's right.
sense
The
in the
dog
movie.
jumps. Yeah, the dog jumps out of the boiler room. I think and Kincaid also says Freddy's dead and concentrated.
And then they awake in their rooms. The next day, Kristen meets up and does some of her shitty acting with her boyfriend and martial arts enthusiast, Rick Johnson.
Hello, babe.
Like, he was a good actor. Why'd they make him so fucking goofy? Like, he was believable.
He was a Kmart Christian Slater.
Yeah. And it worked for that.
Yeah.
But they just made him over the top. And their friends. Rick's shy and quiet sister, Alice, Lisa Wilcox, Sheila, Toy Newkirk, and asthmatic genius, Debbie.
With huge glasses.
Yeah, played by
Yeah.
Brooke Thies, who looks exactly the fucking same that she did in the movie.
Yeah. And she doesn't like bugs.
Yeah. A tough girl who does not like bugs. Kincaid and Joey confront Kristen at school about their dream. They tell her to let it go, that their days of fighting and dreams are over, and if she keeps it going, she might accidentally bring Kruger back. So, the boys are done with it. They want to go on with their lives. She's dating Rick, who, is a fake Christian Slater. Then you have Alice, who... Alice is awesome and what makes this movie watchable. Because you can watch her grow after every death. So it's like
she gets their powers.
She gets her powers, but she changes like her whole appearance.
Well, I love the end fight scene when she does like a Rambo style when she's getting ready.
Oh, she looks just like fucking she looks just like Sigourney Weaver in Alien.
Yeah, you're right.
Same shit. I mean, it was definitely modeled after that. So it was cool how they had her grow. That's why I like this movie. And it had some good kills, and the dumbest fucking kill ever. Alright, so...
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. And it was done because of monetary reasons. I found that out in Never Sleep Again. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
That night, Kristen stays awake to keep herself from dreaming, but Kincaid falls asleep. He awakens in a junkyard where Freddy has accidentally been resurrected.
And this is great. I love it because poor Jason, he's like, Jason? Arr! And then Jason must have some UTI going on because he pisses fire.
They had a bit on Never Sleep Again when Rennie Harlan met with I just had his name. Who's the director of Titanic? James Cameron.
Okay.
So they were talking to James Cameron. He's like, "Oh, so how you bringing back Freddy this time?" He goes, "Dog pisses fire," with a big, thick Viking accent.
Nice.
So he's like, "Oh, all right, cool." It's just funny that the dog's name is Jason.
Yeah. A little nod to my boy.
A little nod.
Yeah.
All right, so Kincaid puts up a good fight against Freddy, but Freddy overpowers him. And Kincaid screams for Kristen, but Freddy reaches him and kills him. Nice little jam into the heart.
Goes, I'll see you in hell. And Freddy goes, tell him Freddy sent you.
It was a good line. I mean,
yeah, I thought it was a little hokey with like when he's like, Kristen, Freddy's back.
And then the big zoom out. Yeah.
Yeah, a little hokey there.
You could see that it was painted.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's 88. What are you going to do?
Yeah. And then he wakes up. Yeah. And then poor Jason's like, Kincaid. But he didn't, here's the thing though. He wakes up in his dream dying, but there's no marks. Like, am I right? Like, there was no blade marks in his
No, because they all just look like apparent sudden deaths. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this was a fun kill.
Oh, great kill.
Joey's watching MTV and listens to music in his room on his waterbed. He begins to fall asleep and discovers a model with her boobies out from one of his posters swimming in his waterbed. So he's all excited, like, how do I get you out of here? Freddy jumps out of the waterbed and attempts to drown Joey. Joey screams for Kristen to help, but Freddy stabs him and kills him. That was
Oh.
a cool cinematic scene. The water
Yeah.
splashing, the glove comes up, goes down, and all the water turns red.
Yeah.
Awesome scene.
And then, again with his one-liners, how's this for a wet dream? And then his mom, like, it was great because I remember those MTV commercials, like with the cab driver or whatever it was.
Yes, I need my MTV.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da. I need my MTV. Yeah.
And then the mom comes in because I think I forget if if he was wearing headphones or something, but it was loud, or she's picking up after him, and that's when she takes his sheets off and he's in the waterbed.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell are you going to explain that one?
Yeah, that one was all right.
So Joey's perverted ways got him killed.
Again, fucking
Yeah.
Joey and his titties. At school the next day, Kristen panics when she notices that Joey and Kincaid are missing and accidentally knocks herself out as Rick attempts to calm her. Then Freddy tries to get her as the nurse's office as the nurse. Like, it's Robert England
in drag. looking like a Kmart copy of Dustin Hoffman and from Tootsie.
Yes. Yeah, it was funny. But a cool scene. He's shooting blood all over the room.
How did he okay, never mind. I just answered my own question. So I'm like, how did he attack Kristen? As I'm reading the notes, it was because he was the nurse.
Yeah.
So,
and she
yeah.
knocked herself out, so she was
Yeah.
out cold. Freddy tries to attack Kristen as the school nurse wakes her up. Kristen feels guilty about staying awake when she learns that Kincaid and Joey were found dead. She later tells Rick, Alice, and Allison's crush, Dan Jordan, about Freddy. She vows to avenge Kincaid and Joey. Pretty cool scene. They end up at the house. And then Dan
That's right, yeah.
The boyfriend kind of gives the backstory to Dan. And, Dan's the new kid in town. He doesn't know the legend. But I thought it was pretty cool because it's like, that's relatable because we all have that old haunted house on the street that we all made up stories about.
And this is where Kristen's mom pulls up in her
Kristen!
convertible. Kristen, underlay. And this is like right around, like, she's like the evil mom from Beverly Hills 90210.
I never watched it, so.
Well, that's what she reminds me of.
Okay.
You never watched 90210?
No, man.
How un-American of you.
No, fuck that California shit. I had no time for that. Alright, so Kristen realizes that her mother has put sleeping pills in her dinner, but falls asleep as she tries to run out of the dining room. You just killed me!
Mm-hmm.
And more shitty acting. Kristen starts to dream. Freddy overcomes her attempts to repel him and forces her back to his home. Since Kristen is the last of the Elm Street children still alive, Freddy goads Kristen into summoning one of her friends into the dream.
But before we get to that, let's open up this scene. She's I think she feels like she escaped him because she wakes up on a beach.
Yes.
And
okay.
then you see you can take it away.
You have a shark coming through the water, metal shark that turns into a Freddy glove. Runs into the beach, explodes up Freddy Krueger, who just fashionably puts on a set of Ray-Bans. That's how I love that man, because it's like, you take it seriously, but you don't, because it's funny.
Well, homeboy should have put on some SPF, because, he's got some bad skin there.
Pretty sure his skin's already fucked up beyond repair, so I think he's alright. But she was actually supposed to be in a bikini. Like, she had the bikini top, but apparently it was a thong bikini. And she wouldn't go out in public with that. I'm like, you're an actress. Just go show your ass. Like, people aren't here for your IQ.
And the bikini was kind of dumb anyway, because I think it had like the little frilly flaps.
It did.
Yeah,
it was, your
typical late 80s bikini.
But Rennie Harlan was on the Never Sleep Again saying, oh, your honey looks so cute. Teenage boys will love it. Go out there, run. So she fought with that, and that, kind of hindered her and Robert thing. So she ends up falling through the sand, I believe, into the house.
Yeah.
So she's going through the house. She ends up in the boiler room. Freddy's trying to tell her to, get him some more meat.
Yeah.
So, like an asshole, she calls Alice into her dream, and Freddy throws Kristen into the boiler. But before she dies, Kristen gives Alice her dream power. Alice wakes up with the... Okay, so she's burning away. Alice wakes up with the sense that something's wrong. Her and Rick run to Kristen's house. When they get there, they see that Kristen's bedroom is fully on fire with her in it.
Yeah.
Good scene out of those two.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I liked Rick, but they just played him so fucking stupid.
Right. And I believe the next day I think we open up at the cemetery. And I think it's in this scene we see some familiar names on the headstones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or was it Rick? No, it was Rick's funeral we start
Okay.
seeing.
Which is great for continuity purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of good continuity in this series. That's why it's one
Yeah.
of my favorites.
Yeah.
So later, Alice falls asleep during class and inadvertently brings Sheila into her dream. Now, this was a weird scene, but a cool scene.
Let's suck face.
Well, before that, there's some like robot figure that grabs her that comes out of the desk.
Oh yeah, because she's into like technology and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So a little robot attacks her.
She's got that zapper or whatever.
Yeah. She's reading through the books, and Freddy's right in there with the glove or whatever. And then Freddy's the teacher peeling the apple.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was cool because like they're the only two that could see it, and all the other kids are just doing their work. Like nothing's going on. Cool scene. Freddy picks her up, sucks the soul out of her, and throws her to the bench. And then she has a massive asthma attack and dies in the class. So Freddy kills Sheila and makes it look like an asthma attack. Rick starts to believe Alice, but the following day he has
before we break into this, I think maybe it was that night. Maybe Rick teaches Alice martial arts,
karate, yeah.
And she kicks her shoe into the fish tank.
Swoosh, killed a fish. Yeah, I mean, you start seeing Alice grow at that point.
Yeah,
I liked Rick. I just hate.
Yeah, because was it in the Sheila death where when Alice gets her ability or something, she like kicks back or something, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
She gets thrown back in a chair and gains, I guess, technology expert now.
Yeah.
So, Freddy kills Sheila. Yep. He has a dream where an invisible Freddy attacks him in a martial arts dojo.
Yeah, because he's taking a crap and he gets out of the stall and it's like a dojo.
Well, he's in the elevator.
Well, no, you know what it was? He gets in the elevator. Well, no. Well, didn't cheerleaders come in, right?
Yeah. It's both. When the door opens, he's in a toilet.
Oh, okay.
But that elevator scene was supposed to be his end. It was supposed to be a lot bigger, and Freddy attacks him in the elevator. Like, claws come in from the window and, slice him down. But they ran out of money.
Okay.
So, what they did, because they didn't want to put Freddy in makeup for, 8 hours for this scene, they had him fight a stunt glove. In this room, they just covered in sheet. I think they said they spent like $20 making this scene. Because they were completely out of money by the time they shot it. And it's the worst fucking death in nightmare history.
Yeah, because he's like shadow boxing or karate and then he knocks his glove off and he thinks he won.
And then Freddy's spewing like martial arts lines like, one must be silent. I'm like, shut the fuck up. This is so stupid.
Yeah.
So this pissed me off, this scene. It always... Because this could have been as good as 3... without stupid little things like this. Like Tuesday night and then this. Just
well, if you notice, the tone of the movie wasn't as dark as part 3. It was campy.
Yeah, it was definitely campy.
Yeah.
They were starting to have fun with it. I mean, it was it was the right fucking decision.
4, 5, and 6 were very 4, 5,
yeah,
and 6
4, 5, and 6.
Camping. Yeah.
5 tried to be serious, but it failed.
Yeah.
But so Rick fights him and manages to knock his glove off. However, the glove levitates and stabs him, killing him. With each death, Alice changes. She gains the abilities and personalities of her dead friends. She makes plans with Debbie and Dan to fight and kill Freddy together. But when her father keeps her in, hell of a job by that dad, by the way, because he played a mean son of a bitch rather well.
Yeah. And he's still alive today. He does conventions.
Oh, does he? Very good.
I mean, it's very rare, but I saw him within the past year or so at some convention.
I think I did too, now that you're bringing that up. Alice falls asleep. Through Alice Through Alice, Freddy stalks Debbie. So, two kind of cool scenes happen here. She's supposed to be meeting Dan. So, you have the time lapse scene
The
where it
loop,
keeps
yeah,
repeating itself.
yeah, which was good.
Cool scene. You see the Craven Diner, which, is so funny to me still. And then you have Freddy coming after the workout girl. And that scene was fucking phenomenal. Cool ass scene. One of the coolest deaths ever. She's turning into a cockroach. And when her face came off to unveil the final cockroach, holy shit, that was so good.
Yeah.
And then they have the big screen showing Freddy looking in to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Such a cool scene. One of my favorite deaths ever. So through Alice, Freddy stalks Debbie, transforming her into a cockroach, and crushes her in a roach motel. Using Debbie's temper, Alice tries to ram Freddy.
But before this, they go into the diner, and this is where we see the pizza, right?
Nope, after.
Oh, okay. Did I stump you?
Because, wow, now you got me confused. So, no, that was after. Because Dan's incapacitated. She's by herself.
Yeah. And, this scene was great. I actually talked to Mick Strawn about this because Mick Strawn worked on this, and I think he worked a little bit on part 3. But, I think he talked about this scene where she rams the truck, and I forget, the total conversation, but he said if you watch it in slow motion, you can see the hookup to the motorcycle on the truck when it collides and it takes it off. This was I like the scene. She sees Freddy, but it's actually a tree.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and she thinks she can kill him that way. And who suffers? Poor Dan.
Yeah, poor Dan.
Yeah,
being terrorized this whole series.
Mm-hmm.
So, using Debbie's temper, Alice just tries to ram Freddy, but collides with a tree in reality, injuring Dan. As Dan is rushed into surgery, Alice returns home and readies herself to join him and face Freddy. In a dream, Alice rescues Dan, and before that is when she's asleep in the Craven Diner. Before that, she's in a movie theater. That was an awesome scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's sitting in the old theater, and off in the distance, you see everyone he's killed. It's Joey, Kincaid, so on. But the popcorn starts going towards the screen.
Yeah.
Awesome scene. Then all of a sudden, she's hanging on, trying not to get sucked into the scene. Then she ends up in the Craven Diner when she sees her old self, which is a fear of hers. And then Freddy shows up with the, Rick, you little meatball. I do need to get one of those pizzas. They do sell it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Is it an actual size or smaller?
Yeah, it's real size, so it's
nice. We forgot to talk about after Rick dies. She's at the cemetery and he comes out of the coffin. Hello, babe.
Yeah. It was just a trick to fool Freddy.
Yeah.
No, you're really dead. I'm like, yeah. I wanted to like Rick. I don't know. They did Rick dirty. They should have gave him a real Freddy scene.
Yeah.
But I was liking Rick. All right. In a dream, Alice rescues Dan, and the two find themselves in an old church. Pretty cool scene. As they're walking through, there's one of those old funhouse tunnels. So he's up there spinning it. They're all falling and fall through the stained glass. I thought that was a cool scene.
Yeah.
So Dan gets injured in the dream, which promptly his surgeons to wake up. Now Alice has to fight Freddy alone. Freddy has the upper hand due to his experience, but she uses her friend's dream powers against him.
And this is when she's all Ripley'd up, right?
Yeah, she's Ripley at this point.
Okay.
When he is about to win, Alice remembers a nursery rhyme called the Dream Master. She recites it and forces Freddy to face his own reflection, which causes the souls within him to revolt. Cool scene.
Prior to this is when he rips his shirt, right? And you see the souls of the children. Was that in this movie?
No, that was 3 when he showed the souls of the children.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
because
it
he
was...
cut. He's like, it's the souls of my kids.
Oh, yeah,
He
that's
might have
right.
done another one like this in here,
Okay,
but I
but this is
know
where we see Leanna Quigley, right?
no
Like, no.
5.
That's funny. Okay.
This is when all the wait. Not sure. I'd have to get back to you on that.
No, it is 4 because they
It is
rip out
4
of him. Yeah, yeah.
because the hands and stuff are coming.
Yes,
The
yeah.
hands are coming,
And
and
that
then
was cool.
yeah, cool
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a hold of that Freddy bus that they built to fit people in it because I think that thing
Really?
was like 10 feet tall.
Holy crap.
Yeah, she was like. It was like size when Quigley threw her boobies up against the wall.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, that thing was huge. And apparently it fell and almost killed someone too.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So she recites it to force Freddy to face his own reflection with causes of
So
souls.
basically, she didn't need to recite it. She just needed a
A
paint
mirror.
of stained, paint of stained. I think it was like stained glass from the church or something,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
The strain tears Freddy apart. Alice's friend's souls are released and leaves Freddy as a hollow husk. Shitty graphics, but
Mhm.
ghosts were hard to make in '88. They made them
Yeah.
look like little kids as they were coming out.
Yeah.
I hated that. That bothered me for a long time, too. Months later, Dan and Alice are on a date when Dan tosses a coin into the fountain. For a moment, Alice sees Freddy's reflection in the water, implying that Freddy is still alive, but she ignores it. Dan asks her what she wished for, but Alice did not tell him as they walk away from the fountain.
So it was kind of like getting back to like a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 and 2 with that implied,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not over yet.
Yeah.
So we had Lisa Wilcox as Alice. So Wilcox was not initially considered for the lead role of Alice. In the film, she plays a more timid version of the character. So Danny Hassel as Dan Jordan. Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger and Nurse. Tuesday Night as Kristen Parker. Brooke Thies as Debbie Stevens. Ken Sagos as Roland Kincaid.
And here's a little with Brooke Thies, she's got a connection with Heather Langenkamp because they were on the same show together.
Yep, just the 10 of us.
10 of us. And I think in that, I think Brooke Thies' character was like Heather Langenkamp was the goody two shoes of the sisters, and Brooke Thies was like the rule breaker. Yep.
I don't remember it at all. I know I watched it, but I can't
watched
remember.
the reruns. Yeah, basically it was a spinoff of Growing Pains because the father is like the coach of the basketball team, and that was his character in Growing Pains. And then he gets a job coaching, I think, a girls' basketball team like out somewhere else.
I gotcha. Yeah, I don't remember it. Rodney Eastman returned as Joey Crucell for about 5 minutes. Andrus Jones as Rick Johnson. Toy Newkirk as Sheila. Nicole Mealy as Mr. Dennis Johnson. Huh.
That's Nicholas Millie?
Millie?
That's the dad, right?
Yeah, that's the dad.
Yeah.
And Brooke Bundy as Elaine Parker. And then we have Lena Quigley as the soul from Freddy's chest. Her chest was coming out of the chest.
Yes.
All right. Franchise originator Wes Craven presented his own pitch for the fourth Elm Street film, but producers Sarah Reiser and Robert Shea turned it down, instead going with the Dream Master pitch as a progression of the Dream Warriors concept. Reiser explained that initially I approached Wes for an idea for the fourth film. I always go to Wes first each time. His idea was illogical. It was about time travel with dreams that broke all the rule of dreams. We decided not to go with that. When we decided to go with Kotzwinkle's Dream Master idea, which we thought was terrific, I told Wes we were doing that.
So how can you break the rules of dreams if dreams really are no rules? I wonder what Wes's. I mean, I really would like to hear Wes's idea.
Yeah, well, I know, but
Hey, at least they didn't put him in space.
Freddy never reached space. I'm waiting for Michael Myers to go to space. That's the only fucking thing left.
It's coming.
Shea felt that Craven's idea did not have the impact the producers were looking for. Craven and his writing partner Bruce Wagner were later contacted about doing rewrites for the script, but turned down the offer as Craven felt that they should have been approached as artists of the original material. Brian Helgeland was at New Line Cinema around Christmas 1987 about a script named Highway to Hell, a pitch that was turned down by them and would not be realized until 1992. The company was desperate to get Nightmare 4 going as they lacked both a script and a director for the film at the same time. And Rennie Harlan did talk about this. He said, we didn't even have the script, but we had the release date and the poster. Like, he didn't know how all this shit was coming together. Oh, it's crazy. Tom McLaughlin also said that after completing Jason Lives Friday the 13th Part 6, New Line offered him the job on Dream Master. His one caveat was that he wanted creative control. The studio could not adhere to that demand, specifically because they had already begun filming without any director. So they started filming before even Rennie Harlan was there.
Wow.
So they probably did that kung fu scene during that. But I would have liked to see what Tom McLaughlin would have done.
Oh, I think he would have. I think Freddy Part 4 could have been a turning point, like how Jason 6 was.
Yeah.
Like, Tom McLaughlin, he's got some good stuff under his belt.
He does. That was a great movie.
Yeah.
It was my favorite.
He saved the franchise.
He did. For them just to send him to Manhattan.
and space.
I know they were filling time before Freddy vs. Jason. That's why Jason X and
they had to make that awful space movie to retain the rights.
Yeah. Because I know Jason Goes to Hell was supposed to be Freddy vs. Jason, but shit went sour. Then I know Jason X was supposed to be Freddy vs. Jason, but shit went sour. Then they finally fucking made Freddy vs. Jason.
It took them 16 years, I think, around that time to get the damn 16 years and 17 scripts.
Yep. I heard it was closer to 50 scripts.
No, I actually have a book and called Slash of the Titans. And there's a chapter dedicated to each script. And they interview the script writers for each script.
That's cool.
But who knows? Maybe there was, and they were just so ludicrous. They're like, we're not even going to put it in the book.
Probably. Like the one guy I was talking about, he did a cult of Freddy fans called Fred Heads.
Yep.
And which are a real thing now because they made another Fred Head documentary. I don't think it's out yet, but they've been... Because I turned in a tape for it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean...
Yeah.
So when I finished Friday, I was offered Nightmare 4, went to New Line, met with them, and said, I love Freddy, I would love to do one of these, but I really want to do what I just did, where I had creative control, he explained. And they go, well, we're already shooting. What? Yeah, we're already shooting. We're shooting like 2 different units for the visual effects and something else, puppets or something. And I said, without a director? Yeah, we kind of know how we're going to make these things. And I went, that's not the way I work. So he turned it down, which of course made Nightmare 4 director Rennie Harlan's career.
What else has Rennie done? I think he did, what was that? Sly Stallone, Cliffhanger. I think he did Cliffhanger.
Let's look him up real quick. Because I know he started with a movie named Prison, which they showed a couple clips of.
Yeah, I think Kane Hodder was like the monster or whatever in that movie.
He's had a hell of a career. We have Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, The Long Kiss Goodnight, Deep Blue Sea.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's got some cool shit under his thing.
Okay.
He did Driven. Exorcist: The Beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's done kind of a lot.
What's his most recent film?
He did Blast from the Past.
Alicia Silverstone and Brendan Fraser. That movie wouldn't hold up in today's
No. No. His latest movie was The Misfits. That has Pierce Bronson in it.
I don't know that one.
I don't know what the hell that is. Alright, so there we go. Eventually, the director's work was given to Finnish-born Rennie Harlan, who had previously directed only 2 low-budget feature films, a Finnish action film, Born American, in 1986, and an American horror film, Prison, in 1987. Rachel Talalay claims that she and the other producers felt that since the audience was so familiar with Freddy at this stage, it would be harder to replicate the scare factor for the first two films. Instead, they decided to continue in the same vein of Dream Warriors rather than focus on pure horror. Harlan felt that Freddy had become the James Bond of the series,
Yeah.
that the audience roots for Freddy instead of the thing. And he's not wrong. I mean,
And Rachel Talalay, she would go on to direct Freddy's Dead, I think.
yep, she's
Yeah.
the only one that's had a hand in every Nightmare film.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Going back to the original?
Yep.
Nice.
So when they were ready to kill off Freddy, they brought her in to finish it,
That's cool.
which was good. I mean, people will say it got campy, but the camp brought the money. You can't fucking deny the amount of merch, everything we talked about earlier. If you kept it serious, like, look at Halloween. We could say, without the last two, Halloween never got funny, never made fun of itself. You know what I mean? Or
Well, I
not
would
inadvertently.
to me, Resurrection. Yeah, but Resurrection, I
Well,
think.
they were trying with Resurrection. So that's
Yeah.
like, look at Nightmare 4. Freddy's talking like fucking, Mr. Game Show host. So that was purpose.
Was it in part 4 when he was like, first they tried burning me?
No, that was Freddy's Dead.
Was it? Oh, yeah, when he's talking to his daughter.
Yep.
See, I don't know the franchise like you.
Say, I got you. I got you. We've reached a point where the audience sees Freddy as the hero. They come to these movies to hear his funny lines and do these amazing things. And because of that popularity, I'm faced with showing Freddy in a more heroic light and giving him more screen time. People will still fear him, but they will also be cheering him on.
Do you have the talking Freddy doll? I never read.
I don't, because I'm looking for the right price and a good box. A lot of the boxes are fucked up.
Gotcha.
Because, do you remember I think it was the Berlin Mart, or maybe the Columbus Mart, the shitty toy store that was in there with all the things were collapsed inside. He had a bunch of Star Wars toys in there.
Oh, I think that's the Berlin Mart. Yeah, that's never open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he had one, and he wanted like $150 for it with the box shredded. I found box shredded on eBay for $50. So,
wow.
No, we're not doing that, bro.
Yeah.
So, another fun fact: over 600 actresses auditioned for the role of Alice.
Holy crap!
Which was eventually given to Lisa Wilcox. Wilcox had previously auditioned for a role in the previous film Dream Warriors, but failed to land it. In Never Sleep Again, director Harlan describes that he and the producers were looking for somebody he can make seem timid and vulnerable in the beginning, and who can then, in an unbelievable way, become kind of like Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. So just like we said. And I think she pulled it off. I mean, she was great. Ellie Cornell has claimed that she was in line for auditioning for a lead role in Nightmare on Elm Street franchise in 1988. In horror films in the 1980s, she described that New Line Cinema was looking for an Ellie Cornell prototype, a girl next door, but she had already landed the role of Rachel Carruthers in Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers, shortly before auditioning the role. Excuse me. I think she would have fit there.
Yeah, she would have. I mean, people love her portrayal of Rachel in part 4 and were pissed off with her killing off in part 5. You kind of went over the Patricia Arquette story.
We could get into that.
Yeah.
I just know that there's no closure to it, so I was just gonna.
So basically, they offered her a hefty sum of money, but she turned it down because she didn't want to get typecast for being in horror films.
And like you could say, Patricia Arquette had a hell of a career, but did she?
She was hot for a couple of years.
I mean, I would have stuck with this because this would have kept you.
Because I mean, the only other role that I remember her in was. She was in. I think she was in a movie with Christian Slater, and it was in a tone of like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, what was that?
Was that 2 Days in the Valley or no? Bad Romance.
Bad Romance. I think it was.
No. True Romance.
True Romance.
Yeah, that was a good movie. But she comes from a lineage of great actors. Like in the early '80s, her sister Rosanna She was a James Bond girl. She was the princess in Red Sonja. Um, and then I think was there another sister that, or was she? I think there was also another sister in the Wonder Years. If I'm thinking right, if I'm
I
thinking of the
believe
right one.
so, yeah.
And then of course, David Arquette.
But David stuck with the Scream series.
Well,
And look what
even
that turned
before,
into.
right, even before that, like I think his first movie was Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Yeah.
and then he was the fun brother in Never Been Kissed.
Yes.
But yeah, then you have Scream, like, and I really didn't know David Arquette that well until Scream,
Yeah. And then,
and I
like,
just,
he did 1, 2, and 3, stuck with it, and then he catapulted.
yeah, I mean, Patricia came back to the media when she was on the TV show Medium.
Yeah.
And then she did that for however many years, and then I think she was like on a CSI show after that.
And then
But
she did a
oh,
couple.
she
She did a
she was
season of Boardwalk Empire.
yes, but she was really good in the Hulu series about the mom that had that was making her daughter sick.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
she was great in that, and I think she won a Emmy for that or a
Huh.
Golden Globe.
So yeah, I guess she turned into her career.
Yeah, but she I think she was kind of, to me, I mean, I could see where she wouldn't be typecast, but look at other actors who got their big breaks in a horror movie and never forgot where they came from.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have. She would be huge in conventions, but I think if she did multiple, she would have been even bigger. Like
Yeah.
everyone's coming after Charlie Hunnam right now, but give that like 3 years, that's gonna burn off a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll have the staying power as Robert or and you know what, it might, but I think if she stuck with it, she could have made a bigger career.
Like, can you imagine if she started doing horror conventions? Her lines would be out the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a little while, because once you get it, you're gonna kind of be done with her.
True. True.
I mean, Dream Warriors was the best in the franchise, so she'll probably always have a line.
It'd be great if we can get a true Dream Warriors reunion.
That'd
Like,
be
have
it.
her in there.
I don't
Yeah.
think we could ever do that.
No.
I don't. Shit. What do you think that is? 180K in her pocket? I'd do it in a fucking second. All right, so filming. The creative process was bogged down by the untimely 1988 Writers Guild of America strike, running from March 7th to August 7th, 1988, forcing Harlan and the producers to improvise much during the filming. Lisa Wilcox and Andres Jones wrote their own dialogue for Alice and Rick after the death of Kristen while watching their old home videos, such as I Saw It Happen in My Dream. Many of the nightmare scenes were made up of ideas Harlan came up rather than the script. The film features the car junkyard set from Nightmare 3. This set was conceptualized by production manager Mick Strawn, who worked as art director and handled effects on the previous film. Strawn also came up with the truck crash scene in the Kaleidoscope Hallway. I like that Kaleidoscope Hallway.
Mm-hmm.
The junkyard set is the only set used in more than one film. The set was built and filmed at a landfall in Tacoma, California. According to the Never Sleep Again documentary, producer Rachel Talalay recounted the meeting between director Rennie Harlan and James Cameron, inquired how Freddy was being resurrected for the film, and to which Harlan replied, "A dog pisses fire." We got some music videos. Since the Nightmare on Elm Street series was popular, many of the songs on the soundtrack had music videos. The Fat Boys' Are You Ready for Freddy music video featured Robert Englund. The storyline of the video is that one of the Fat Boys inherits the M Street house on the condition that he has to stay in it for the night. The video includes Freddy rapping and audio of Heather Langenkamp's line, "Don't Fall Asleep," from the original film. The music video was on the bonus disc, the Nightmare Series Encyclopedia of the Nightmare on Elm Street collection.
I remember that one.
I still have that.
Yeah, I gave that. When I got the Blu-ray set, I gave that away to one of
It's
the
still in
individual
there.
customers. Oh, is it?
Yeah, you can still. I think it's that last disc is that actual
Okay.
game you play.
The only part of the rap that I remember is "You've got the body and I've got the brain."
Oh. Vinnie Vincent's Invasion's Love Kills music video features scenes from the film. Box office. We already went over the release date. The film ranked number 1 on its opening weekend and grossed $12.8 million.
I'm gonna put up real quick what movies came out that weekend.
Let's
See
do
what
it.
was up. Okay.
I believe it was up against something big. I don't remember. And they released it in August. I like to see more horror movies come out throughout the year. We do not need every fucking horror movie to come out in October.
Right. Okay, so movies that came out. Wow, movies that came out that weekend. Young Guns,
Good movie.
Die Hard,
Wow.
Fish Called Wanda.
Wow.
Well, no, hold on.
Wow, shit.
Hold on. Well, I'll just put what. Okay, now they didn't come out, but this is what was playing at the time. Okay, so Young Guns, Die Hard, Fish Called Wanda, Cocktail. Okay, so all right. Yeah, so in second place was Young Guns. So maybe Young Guns was 2 weeks out at this point. No, shoot, hold on. Okay. Actually, okay, so Young Guns was 2 weeks out. So it was up against Young Guns. That was the only new thing that came out that weekend, but we have Die Hard that was out for 6 weeks. Fish Called Wanda was out for 6 weeks. Cocktail was out for 4 weeks. Wow, Disney was a distributor on Cocktail. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was out for 9 weeks. You had Married to the Mob, Tucker the Man's Dream, Coming to America, and Midnight Run.
Oh.
So some good movies.
Yeah.
And I love Young Guns. So let's see.
Young Guns was
it
a good
destroyed Young Guns by $7 million. Or
Damn.
no, 12,800,000. Yeah, 12 million. Yeah. Yeah, so it destroyed $7 million more was the gross. So yeah. No, I'm sorry. Okay, so the total gross. Okay, so Young Guns total gross was only $5 million that weekend. No, I'm sorry. The total gross was $12 million, 833,000 for an Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Young Guns did surpass it by 4 million, but still,
it had a 2-week head start.
Opening weekend, it made $7,000 more than Young Guns.
Okay.
So
on the second weekend, the film still ranked number 1 and grossed $6.9 million. It was in first place on the third weekend, then at second, fourth, and sixth in the next 3 weeks until it dropped out of the top 10 list in the 7th weekend at number 11.
And this grosses is only domestic. It doesn't count for international. So
the film grossed 49,369. I mean,
49 million.
Yeah.
So overseas, it dominated more overseas in the total gross. Wow.
It was the 19th highest grossing film in 1988. It was the highest grossing Nightmare on Elm Street until Freddy vs. Jason was released in 2003. It is currently the 3rd highest grossing film in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
So Freddy vs. Jason's number 1. What would be number 2?
I think maybe New Nightmare.
Yeah, I and it's surprising that's surprising that like Freddy's Dead didn't make more money than you would think. Oh, they're killing off Freddy. I want to go out to the theater.
What happened was fucking The Dream Child happened. Is why Freddy's Dead tanked at the theater.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't even go to the theater to see Freddy's Dead. I waited for video and I bought it.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was so pissed with Dream Child that I just was like, I'll watch. It ended up becoming one of my favorite because he's funny in it. And it's just so campy and ridiculous that I like watching it.
Right.
All right, so some fun facts we got. We only got a couple, and we probably maybe already covered them. First film in the franchise where Robert Englund received top billing in the opening credits.
You would have thought by part 3 he would have got top billing.
Well, you had Heather. It was I don't know who got top billing in 3.
Because by part 3,
he should have definitely had it in 2. It was No Names.
Yeah.
And really, in 1, it should have been fucking John Saxon.
Even though he had like 10 minutes of screen time.
Yeah. But he would have easily been the top biller.
Yeah.
It was the highest grossing horror film in 1988. The success of this film convinced producers to create Freddy's Nightmares.
Which, I mean, Freddy's Nightmares was really just an anthology, kind of like
It was Tales from the Crypt, but
yeah,
shittier budget.
yeah, and that was like syndicated. It wasn't on a actual station, I don't think.
Well, and that's correct. And the stations got to choose when they wanted to play it. So some idiots were playing this at like 5 in the afternoon after like the
Yeah.
church coverage. Like, what?
Yeah.
So it threw all the parents in the Midwest through outrage.
Is that available on like a box set?
No.
Freddy's? No.
You have some guys that have made it a DVD,
Mm-hmm.
but it's iffy when it comes to, because you know how you have the regions for DVDs?
Yeah.
Some of them are kind of hard to find.
Now, if they did release a true box set, would you get it?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, I don't know if I'd watch them. I know I've seen most of them, but I was a kid when I watched most of them, so I don't remember
Yeah.
shit. I remember very few. I remember Brad Pitt being in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember
Oh, wow.
Tank Girl,
Lori Petty.
Lori Petty being decapitated in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was funny.
I remember when Tubi, I think it was last year, Tubi had put him out, and I didn't finish the first one, where it's like kind of like where he's on trial. I thought it was pretty cool, but it's so slow.
Yeah, it is
The
slow.
pacing. Ugh.
And some of them are fucking crazy. And what they got away with is just fucking remarkable. It's like they didn't give a shit. They were
Right.
just like, here, go do that. Like, Robert wasn't even in the same studio that they were doing that in. They would shoot his
wow.
little
Okay.
5-minute intros. And one of the director's daughter was having a birthday, so Robert like called her a pussy and wished her a happy birthday, you little bitch, and then ate a flower. So like she was the coolest girl in school that
Well,
fucking
how
week.
cool, totally off topic. That Freddie interview I sent you with Robert's in makeup, but he's talking in his regular voice.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
it's crazy. So we had during filming, several of the main actors on set were turned off by their co-star actress Tuesday Night and director Rennie Harlin's apparent romantic fling, which ultimately resulted in Knight being pampered by Harlan and given special attention while the other actors are tossed aside by crew members. The rumor of their relationship on and off set was talked about so much that when the documentary Never Sleep Again was filmed, many of the cast spoke of their distaste and jealousy over Knight getting all the attention from the director some 20 years prior. Rennie Harlin based his film on a Chinese ghost story and created all of the nightmares himself based on dreams he had had throughout his life. You had a lot of kung fu dreams in your life? That's a Finnish thing, I guess. You have kung fu dreams. 1988 was the first year in which all three of the top horror franchises, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Halloween, all released new films in the same year. The Dream Master, Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, and Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. And Freddy won. Robert Englund directed the horror film 976 Evil the same year he did this film.
Interesting.
It was a decent movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in so long.
I know. I don't remember shit about it.
Yeah.
Alice's abilities originally included those of the Dream Warriors, but were cut due to fear of confusing the audience. So that would mean, how would they do that? Because that would mean that Kristen would have to take in all their powers and then shoot all those powers over to Alice. Very weird. Decent movie. Not one of my favorite in the franchises. The next one's going to be fucking painful, guys. I'm sorry now, but I didn't make the movie. At least Lisa Wilcox is in it, which makes it okay.
Yeah.
But now Freddy's a huge star. We got Jason. And see, that's what we need. I think we need new blood in this franchise.
Yeah.
Like, I know we got Halloween jumping the shark over there.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a series coming out with Pamela.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nightmare Nothing.
Well, I think they isn't there some issues with the estate of Craven, and that's really
People
what the
don't
holdup
know
is?
where to go with script ideas. That's the holdup. And
Mhm.
the Craven family is holding it tight to the chest, which, thank you. Because now we're not coming out with, maybe he's got 2 gloves this time or some
Right.
bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's, I don't, I need something else, man.
Do
Like,
you think we should have like another reboot
no, what I
or a
want
continuation of
is
something?
what they did with Friday. It's a remake, but it's not because you changed nothing. It's
Right.
kind of like the Friday the 13th remake was kind of a sequel, if you think about it. It's got Easter eggs from all the movies.
Yeah.
He gets the mask early on,
Right.
and then he kills like that. I think, yeah, I view it more of a sequel than a remake because it's the same story. They didn't change anything.
Yeah,
You
but it was
kind of
really
see the mom dying, but you could have transferred that for the Betsy Palmer scene.
yeah, but that was really it was really basically Fridays 1 through 3 in a nutshell, you know?
Yeah,
So
but
you
it had
you
the
you could say that it's a reboot or remake, but in a different universe per
you
se.
could do that. But
Yeah,
I mean, it could play as a sequel because the timeline already doesn't make fucking sense.
true. But to the diehards, you can't because well, what about Tommy Jarvis? You know,
Well, Tommy Jarvis, they fucking changed 3 times.
true. Yeah, I know,
And
but
they can
that's
throw Tommy Jarvis into another one about the remake.
my feeling is if this is how I would see it. I would like to see a Jason movie either set after part 4 or part 6. You know,
Oh, why not
I'm
part 7? Because it adds to the timeline. I know it was a goofy one, but it was still a good one.
true. All right. So you know what? Let me rephrase that after because while I loved the look of Jason in part 7, as most people will say that had the best look, it was campy. Um, I mean, parts 1 through 4 are my absolute
Yeah.
favorite. So, but it's so iffy because CJ Graham did a great job in part 6. I did not like, while Tom Matthews will forever be known as Tommy Jarvis, I felt between part 5's Tommy and part 6's Tommy, part 6's Tommy was the weakest. Whereas part 5 was like, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you for stealing my mask.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's tough. But then there was that fan film Jason Rising, which took place after part 4, which I thought was fairly good. You know, I enjoyed it. James Sweet and company did a great job. You had headless, uh, undead Pamela Voorhees. You know, it did get a little hokey when she did get her head and it was great seeing Adrian King come in and she had the machete and Pamela's face made this weird look, which hell, it's a fan film.
Yeah,
The fact that they got away with doing a headless Pam to begin with for a fan film,
yeah.
um, I like that take on it, you know? And I hope they do a follow-up to it because they left it for and you know an open one, but now that the movies are being made again or TV shows, it's tough to say.
Yeah,
But
but I think you're right. If you did a different part 5, or if you did a different 8, it would fit, and you could go from there and grow it.
mhm. Yeah.
But I think you need to add 6 and 7 together because I think they've kind of fit. I mean, Tommy put him underwater, she brought him out of water, and then he did look better in 8 than 7 or a 7 than 8, 7 than 6 because there's no utility belt that bothered the fuck out of me. Like, why is Jason wearing a utility belt?
Because he stole it from the paintball
I
guys.
know, but I mean, 6 is always going to be my favorite. The kids are
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Tommy Jarvis was fun. The cast was awesome.
Yeah.
John
yeah.
Travolta's nephew.
Yeah, yep.
We'll see, man. They need to do something because this Megan shit and what we got coming, it's just what the fuck.
Yeah.
Like, even if, scare me. Like, try. I don't even care if I jump. If it's a scene that, wow, that was pretty good, that was jolting, like The Conjuring. I didn't jolt in The Conjuring, but there were scenes where I could have.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like the clapping right by her face, just little fucking tiny shits. Come on.
Right.
I mean, I want fear. I want scary back.
Right. I hear you. I hear you.
Oh man. But this has been Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Let us know what you think. We're still doing that giveaway, so make sure you subscribe. And then we'll see you guys soon. Got anything else before we hang up, sir?
No, I'm good.
Let's do it. We will see you guys next Monday.